Remember when TikTok was just that Kesha song? Pepperidge Farms remembers.
Let's talk tech.
Welcome to News.exe, the best technology-centric news show on the Burk IT YouTube channel, guaranteed. I'm Noah Parker.
And I'm Michael Trotter-Lawson. This week we discuss TikTok and why it's so popular, so controversial, and a real danger to society today. But first, it's time for notable news you need to know.
In ironic, shameless plug news, we are now publishing our own shorts content. Not the shorts, small pants you would wear. It's like YouTube shorts or small format videos. For reasons that will soon become clear, we are not posting anything to TikTok, but we have started to upload single stories as short videos to YouTube, LinkedIn, and Instagram. The goal is to be able to post more notable news while it is still notable and new. So expect videos to come out as soon as the same day the original story breaks. In addition, this is an exciting opportunity to get more members of the Burk IT team, the exposure they so desperately crave. Kidding, of course. But this is genuinely a great way to get more technology-centric news out to the people and expose all of you to the other friendly faces here at Burk IT.
Generation Z is claiming that school is failing to equip them with the skills they need for the digital world. Dell Technologies recently published a study that surveyed over 15,000 people aged 18 to 26 from 15 different countries about their thoughts on how governments could build resilient economies, as well as the role of technology in solving global problems. Survey says that Gen Z is skeptical of government and education's efforts to build a stronger future. About half express a willingness to suffer short-term economic hardship for the benefit of policymakers' long-term solutions, though only a third are confident that current government investments will lead to a flourishing digital economy. In addition, 44% said that school only taught them very basic computing skills, while 37% said that compulsory school education failed to prepare them with the technology skills they needed for their planned careers. 37% seems low to me, since I only learned 2 technology skills in my pre-collegiate education. I learned Word because I had to, and I learned that Excel was a program that exists.
Home Depot Canada has routinely been sharing customer data with Meta, according to a finding by the Canadian Federal Privacy Commissioner. Now, before you skip through this story related to Canadian law, it's worth knowing that this has the potential to lead to significant consequences and another class action lawsuit for Meta. Home Depot was providing email addresses to Meta, and Commissioner Philippe Dufresne said, quote, "They did not obtain valid, meaningful consent, and this report is a reminder to all our companies. Our sense is this technique is widely used." Home Depot decided, quote, "consent fatigue as the reason for not fully informing the customers at checkout that email addresses provided would be shared with Meta." On the other hand, privacy protections are arguably much weaker in the United States, so it is nearly certain that all companies across the US are doing the same thing as Home Depot Canada, just on an even larger scale. However, Mark Zuckerberg published a privacy-focused vision for Facebook today. My apologies, it is not April 1st.
The Biden administration is getting much more aggressive in its cybersecurity policy, as the president is implementing stricter cybersecurity standards for private companies, in addition to a strategy for retaliation against hackers who attempt to infiltrate American systems. The 35-page document titled National Cybersecurity Strategy differs from the dozen or so similar papers signed by prior presidents in 2 significant ways. First, it imposes mandatory regulations on a wide swath of American industries. Second, it authorizes U.S. defense, intelligence, and law enforcement agencies to go on the offensive, hacking into computer networks of criminals and foreign governments, in retaliation to or preempting their attacks on American networks. It's clear that the Biden administration is holding to that old American adage that the only way to stop a bad guy with a computer is a good guy with a computer.
A new study released at the start of this month found that 98.3% of organizations worldwide work closely with at least one third-party vendor that has been breached in the last 2 years, and that over 50% of them have an indirect relationship with 200 fourth-party vendors, third-party vendors, partners, or suppliers, that have been breached in the last 2 years. Mike Woodward, Vice President of Data Analytics at Security Scorecard, said, quote, "A data breach is one of the most obvious and serious symptoms of a security issue. That's why these staggering numbers are very concerning." End quote. Often breaches at one company can easily extend to the companies getting resources from that breached company, so businesses must be wary of all other companies in their supply chain, lest they risk being breached themselves, which is why you should never do business with a whale, as they will always breach eventually.
Netflix's password sharing cash grab is beginning soon here in the United States, as people will soon be nagged to pay additional fees should they wish to use Netflix beyond their household. This move has been forecasted for some time, but this change, in addition to price hikes and a deterioration of quality of service, has led to increased disdain for the once king of streaming. In the nations where they've tested this change, the company's implementation of the password sharing crackdown has so far been a confusing mess. Greg Peters, Netflix's recently promoted co-CEO, told investors, quote, "This will not be a universally popular move, so there will be current members that are unhappy with this move. We'll see a bit of a cancel reaction to that. Given the many alternatives to Netflix today, and the lack of competitors making similar password sharing policies, Netflix may face a harsher financial backlash than they currently anticipate. Could Netflix's house of cards come tumbling down? If they're under the impression that they've nailed it, they might be due for a long look in the Black Mirror. I'm not saying the company's going to collapse by Wednesday, but still, stranger things have happened.
New U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, or SEC, rules set to come into play in the spring of 2023 will force listed companies to report their cyber attacks to core stakeholders such as investors, customers, and regulators. Although disclosures and governance surrounding cybersecurity have improved in recent years, disclosure practices have been deemed inconsistent, and another revamp of the regulation has been called for. The proposed legislation would require organizations to disclose a cyber incident within 4 business days of a breach, as well as more general periodic reporting providing updates about previous cybersecurity incidents, as well as information about the company's preparedness. The aim to hold businesses accountable for the preparedness of their security program and their security against attacks. The legislation has, however, resulted in outcry and demands for withdrawal from Fortune 100 companies, as they fear the regulation will incur adverse consequences on shareholder price and stakeholder demand.
ChatGPT may be the fastest growing consumer app in internet history, reaching 100 million users in just over 2 months. This leaves the OpenAI-owned chatbot comfortably beating the growth speeds of major apps like TikTok and Instagram. And notably, it took TikTok 9 months to reach the same level of users. Instagram took 2.5 years, and Spotify only amassed 100 million users after 4.5 years. The chatbot was launched in November and experienced a rapid surge in popularity because of its eerie, human-like capabilities to code, write cover letters, and take exams. It amassed 1 million users in just 5 days. Analysts from Swiss banking giant UBS wrote, quote, "In 20 years following the internet space, we cannot recall a faster ramp in a consumer internet app," end quote. ChatGPT has a lot of people concerned about being replaced with AI, but no artificial intelligence is going to take my job. Only an idiot would do my job.
That's all for today's notable news you need to know, which means it's almost time for our main story. But first, this.
Every year, Tens of social media sites collapse, go bankrupt, or get folded into larger companies. Services like Vine that folded after just a few years after its launch, or MySpace that... Oh wait, MySpace is still around? Huh. Well, it's more like the zombie equivalent of a social network now, but I mean... Anyway, every year, social media sites fail. This can be sad, but the good news is that there is a way to help. For the small price of $0.00 a month, you can stop caring about old social media sites. These aren't people, they're companies and services that profited off people's ego and self-esteem, and anything worth seeing has been re-uploaded to YouTube or Reddit. So, consider giving up absolutely nothing and just moving on with your worthless existence. Thank you.
Today, our main story is about TikTok. Not the clockmaker's dating app, but the Chinese-owned social media company that has taken hold of the nation's ever-shrinking attention span. TikTok has seen a tremendous amount of growth in the last couple of years, though it's been accompanied by an equally tremendous level of scrutiny, primarily due to its Chinese roots. There has been a growing chorus of voices in the US calling for the ban of the app, and it has already been banned on several university campuses and from government devices of most federal employees. TikTok poses a host of national security dangers to Americans, but TikTok and its surrounding controversies also reveal more dangers in our own homegrown social media companies.
First, let's establish what TikTok actually is. TikTok is a short-form video hosting service owned by the Chinese company ByteDance. It hosts user-submitted videos, which can range from 15 seconds to 10 minutes. TikTok is an entirely separate, internationalized version of Douyin, which was released in the Chinese market in September 2016. TikTok became available worldwide after merging with another Chinese media service, Musical.ly, on August 2nd, 2018. TikTok and Douyin have almost the same user interface, but no access to each other's content. The two products are similar, but their features are not identical. Douyin features an in-video search feature that can search by people's faces for more videos like them, or with them, along with other features such as buying, booking hotels, and making geotag reviews. Features like this could raise some privacy concerns in the US, but in China, accepting that the government already knows everything just makes everything a little more convenient.
Douyin, despite its similar interface, serves a very different purpose than TikTok. The domestic Chinese version of this app serves educational and patriotic content to its young users with a hard limit of 40 minutes a day, while the international form of TikTok is designed to hook its users with addictive content served at a rapid, non-stop pace. Tristan Harris, the executive director and co-founder of the Center for Humane Technology, described it as, quote, "They make their domestic version a spinach TikTok, while they ship the opium version to the rest of the world," end quote. It is worth noting that this addictive model is far from unique to TikTok, though TikTok is this very unique case as we have two versions with different purposes to compare. And it's owned by a nation that many consider to be one of America's greatest rivals.
In its privacy policy, TikTok lists that it collects usage information, IP addresses, a user's mobile carrier, unique device identifiers, keystroke patterns, and location data, among other data. TikTok has long claimed that people's data is not sent back to ByteDance, the parent company which is controlled by the Chinese government. However, ByteDance itself confirmed that 4 of its employees in China scooped up the data of 2 TikTok accounts belonging to US journalists, according to an investigation done by the company towards the end of last year. So the company has admitted they can access this data, and while it is likely an exaggeration to state that the Chinese government has easy access to this data, let's work off the assumption that they do. What does that data give them the power to do?
TikTok, along with every other social media service, collects data on its users with the goal of constructing an accurate model of each individual user by examining statistics on watch time, likes, dislikes, subscriptions, and demographic data like age and gender. Sites like TikTok create a model that's able to predict that person's next move on the app. Using this model, TikTok serves content that is most likely to get that individual to stay on the app, in addition to selling that user's ad time to advertisers targeting people with a similar model. These models are created using advanced machine learning techniques that are completely beyond human understanding.
Machine learning is the engine behind every social network's success. So to understand TikTok, we must understand the basis of the algorithm behind it. However, it is worth noting that no one knows exactly how any social media company's algorithm works. That information is a closely guarded trade secret. And due to how these algorithms are created, the companies themselves don't fully understand how they work in the first place. The algorithm that decides what video is shown next on TikTok, or what videos are suggested on YouTube, or whatever form of content on whatever social network, is created by giving an algorithm a goal. That goal can be increased viewer retention, interactions including likes, dislikes, comments, and shares, improved user retention, meaning how long they stay on the service, or any combination of these and more. The algorithm then creates itself. For more on how machine learning works, I recommend this video by CGP Grey. He does a great job at explaining the concept in a digestible way.
Basically, the algorithm tracks the actions of users, and it pays attention to the content that gets closest to achieving that goal. That kind of content is rewarded by being shown to more people. This has led to a growth of content designed almost entirely to divide and be controversial. When TikTok shows you a video of someone acting insane or rambling about a conspiracy theory or something like that, you may not like it, but you may feel compelled to comment about how insane you think it is. Commenting is rewarding the algorithm, and since it is more time-consuming than likes, they are often also more valuable. With that in mind, these controversial videos get spread around more and more, and eventually plenty of people who may be vulnerable to believing this content will see it and like it, causing TikTok to reward that video further and suggest more content like it to those vulnerable people. This is the source of much of our political polarization today.
TikTok is undeniably contributing to political division in the United States and other countries today, in addition to almost certainly providing detailed models of human activity to the Chinese government. It is very important to note, however, that it is only the second part that primarily concerns American politicians. If TikTok is banned, as seems increasingly likely due to the bipartisan support behind the idea, only the Chinese government aspect is eliminated. The division continues on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and just about every other social network, major or otherwise. They all have these algorithms, and they all create these human models that know more about you than you know about yourself. The only difference is how they provide that information to advertisers and our own government and anyone else for a nominal fee. TikTok is dangerous, but that does not mean the other social networks are safe.
That's our show today. Come back in 2 weeks to keep updated on the most vital technology news, and consider checking out our blog and newsletter at burkitc.com.
Thanks for watching.
If you enjoyed the video, consider leaving a like, and if you really enjoyed it, subscribe for more.